Hello there. Now, do you ever get that sense where you suddenly feel alone? Like the last lunatic still dragging a camera up the hill for sunset. Is landscape photography dead? What's going on? Let's find out, because here, right now on the hill, it feels alive. Before we get going today though, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you need a domain name, a website or an online store, make your next move with Squarespace. Right, I have come to the Peak District today. We're going to be doing some landscape photography amongst talking about the theme of the video. It's just rained, which means everything is looking incredibly vibrant. All this beautiful heather with its greens and purples has just burst into life, especially since the sun's just come out again. So I'm excited for the landscape photography, and I'm going to just explore around a bit, see what takes my fancy, shoot a few bits, and just enjoy the day. If you've been watching the channel for the last few weeks, you'll know that for the past while, I've been stuck in a bit of a creative rut. I've come out the other side of that now, and one thought I had on it is that anytime you have that kind of creative block or writer's block or photographer's block, whatever you want to call it, it's just a feeling, and generally bears no resemblance whatsoever to the objective truth or the quality of the actual work that you're producing. It's just a feeling, so getting on top of that, pushing it out the door is the way to go. I was feeling a bit low and a bit down about photography, and at those times I look for inspiration. And I've been off social media, but I don't think that's the thing. And I was like, where is the inspiration? Where have all the landscape photographers gone? I get messages all the time from people saying that they've downed tools, they've given up photography, they've sold their camera. It's really quite sad because it's still such a fun and beautiful thing to do, which hopefully I'll be able to show you later on today. In these times though, when you have these kind of personal responses or personal experiences, it's good to look at the data and see if the data supports your thesis. Now, for this data, I have two sources of data. One is Google Trends, which allows you to put any keyword or search term into Google and it will tell you how many people have searched for that keyword in that time period, both for web search and for YouTube. My second data point is my own analytics on my YouTube channel and on my website. So with photography, you can see just a huge decline since 2004 for web searches. But with YouTube, that's gone up a bit before coming back down a touch again. And I think that just sort of shows people moving from web searches to YouTube to learn about photography possibly. I think the decline in photography searches does match the general experience of the photography industry, particularly the camera industry, which has seen a 90% drop-off in the last 10 years. Let's look at the YouTube data though for landscape photography, because this pretty much matches my experience and my earnings in fact as well. So going back to like 2014, 2015 when I started this channel, you can just see a trajectory that way upwards, and that's exactly what I experienced with my views, with my revenue. Then there's a bit of a drop-off in the middle where they've changed their data collection methods, and it's continued going up basically to a point in around 2017, 2018 where things were looking really good, and that's my experience of it. And then it's gone down a bit before peaking again during the lockdowns. Understandable. People were on YouTube, they were in the house, they were watching this stuff, and they're interested in photography and being out in nature. And that period was when I had my studio. Things were going well. It was a booming time for my business. And then since then, there's just been a catastrophic drop-off. That's maybe matched the economy, people's ability to travel, people's free time. I don't know. I think it's just quite interesting. I've then seen a similar thing with my website and YouTube traffic. Clearly, landscape photography isn't dead. It's certainly in decline. Oh man, the flies. It's certainly in decline, and the data backs that up. But why is that? Why is that happening? Why has there been a decline in both landscape photography interests and photography generally? Because I think Google Trends gives you, it's probably the best data point we have for overall market sentiment. So I'd like to offer a couple of ideas about why that decline is happening and potentially what we can do about it. Time for a little bit of photography, and my first image of the day, basically the tree just behind me there with this lovely little clump of heather right in front of it. It's still a little bit early. It's about 5 o'clock now, so the sun is a little bit high in the sky. So there's still a little bit too much contrast. But as I was walking past, the sun was just coming out from behind a cloud, and it looked really rather beautiful at that point. I have, for the keen-eyed amongst you, photographed this tree before. I made a print of it out of the back of my car, which was really lovely print. I called it Mally's tree because he was the keen eye that spotted this in the first place, but I've been back a couple of times and shot it again. This is, I think, my third time now. It's funny because when you come to these places over and over again, you do get your favourites. You do have your favourite compositions and your favourite trees. And this one's just looking spectacular. Covered, in fact, in quite a lot of yellow autumnal leaves. Now, I don't know about where you are, but here in the north of England, the autumn has come early. Very early, in fact. I'm filming this about a week before the end of August. So there's still about a month left of summer, because summer goes to the 21st of September. At the moment, it's just about waiting for the light again. But I know I don't particularly want to be here for golden hour. I've got another plan for that, because this heather's just looking spectacular all over this moor, and I want to make the best of it today. Oh my God, that helicopter's back. So noisy. And people complain about my drone. That's way worse. Way worse. I think one of the reasons why landscape photography, particularly in this kind of thing, is in the decline is because of phones. Not as many people are buying the big camera and using this thing. Using this tripod adds a layer of enjoyment for me, but it's a little bit technical for some people. I don't know. Maybe it's image stabilization even, because people are hand holding a lot more often, running and gunning and not taking the time, not taking the moment to be present here, connected to reality, cares of the world washed away. And I love this thing, the 5D Mark IV, the old workhorse. I just love it. But everybody's using their phones, and to be fair, so am I a lot of the time. Some of the photos I get of my family and friends and stuff with my phone are just brilliant, and you couldn't tell that it's not on the big camera, especially because everybody's just using their phone screen to look at it, and the odd small print that I give as a gift. Crazy. The leaves are moving around a fair bit, so very basically I've upped my ISO to 320, which has allowed me to boost my shutter speed to 1/125th of a second at f11. Because the heather in the foreground is quite a lot closer to me than the tree, so I want that full maximum depth of field that I can achieve. It's just a bit too bright at the moment. I could do with another cloud. I think I mentioned it on last week's video, where the life of a landscape photographer is waiting for the light. I love that. I think it's one of my favourite bits about being a landscape photographer. I've been stood here now for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe, taking my time, composing the image, waiting for the light a little bit. And it's all just so enjoyable. You get to know these little locations really, really well. And I feel a certain amount of connection to this place now. And it means something to me. It has meaning and it's fulfilling. And really that's what it's all about. And if I come away with a good image at the end of it, then that is a bonus. And then it reminds me of the feeling I had here. And hopefully with these videos and with the image itself, I can transmit some of that through that lens to you and through the print to the customer, if it's good enough to sell. Which at the moment I'm not convinced it will be. Let's do it once more. Doesn't look like there's any cloud coming at the moment, so let's just shoot that off. I'll show you my best one after I've waited for the light. And I hope you like it. When you're doing landscape photography, especially in woodland, it's also amazing the difference that a bit of fog can make, which obviously I don't have today. Now look at this, if I spin you around, look at that. It's nice, it's pretty. There's some heather there and some trees there. And if I zoom in on these trees, there's just nothing there, is there? Just a mess of trees. But look at this composition. It's the same scene. And I just find that really interesting. What's hard is seeing it like it is today and then visualizing what it might look with fog. So when you come back when it is foggy, you know to come to that location. That is the skill. It's not one I'm particularly good at. So I'm just walking through this woodland, waiting for sunset and doing a little bit of scouting because it is a really fantastic woodland. But what I was talking about a minute ago with visualization of things that are going to look different in better conditions, I have a good example of that. And it is right behind me here, this wall of ferns behind me. Look at that, all the way up that bank. I don't know how steep it is, but from my point of view here, it's just a blanket wall of ferns with all these trees growing in front of it, and some even like that, these couple of gnarled silver birch growing out of it. Now imagine that with all of the ferns gone brown, potentially a little bit of hoarfrost, and some morning sunlight, which is going to come from over this side, lighting it up from the side. That's going to look spectacular. Now, as you know, this video is sponsored by Squarespace, and in my opinion, Squarespace is just the best place for photographers to build their own website, and that's for a number of reasons. Firstly, is you're going to have a professional and beautiful looking website, but it's also just really easy to set up. I wish I had discovered them many years before I actually did. So just go to squarespace.com and you tell them what you want to do. And you can either use one of their beautiful templates to get up and running quickly, or now you can use what they call design intelligence, basically an AI which can help you write copy for your website to accompany your photographs, or it can even do custom templates for you to get something a bit more bespoke to your needs. They will also grow with you, which I think is a beautiful thing. So you can start with just a very simple gallery that looks big, bold and beautiful. It's going to look way better than anything you get on social media. You control how your photos are presented to the world in your little corner of the internet. You can then convert it to an online store to start selling things like books, prints, calendars, mugs, workshops, anything you can think of that's photography related. You can sell it on Squarespace. Because it takes all the technical difficulty out of it, it will also look perfect on a phone screen, an iPad, a computer, whatever your viewer sees your website on, it's gonna look beautiful. For me, it's always been a seamless experience from start to finish, and you end up with something very professional. So go to squarespace.com or click the link down below, and then once you've built your website, use the offer code FIRSTMAN. That's right, FIRSTMAN. Tell them that I sent you there, and then you get a new website and you get 10% off. I get the credit for sending you there, and Squarespace gets a new customer. Everybody wins, and it's a beautiful thing. I hope this video hasn't come across so far overly negative, because that's certainly not my intention. I'm just the sort of person who likes to understand a problem, understand a challenge, understand the issues, and then it gives me the strength and the knowledge to then press forward and be positive. So that's what I'm trying to do in understanding why people, or the interest in landscape photography, has waned a little bit. I think there's two main reasons. Firstly is value. So I've talked many times before in the last year or two about the value of photography, both the industry and the image itself. I've said so many times now that the price of digital content will always trend to zero. And we're seeing that now in its fully fledged form. When there isn't an economic incentive to creating images, it probably means that there's going to be less people doing it. And it's getting harder and harder to create economic output from your photography, whatever area you're doing it in. Which leads us on to problem number two, and that's just the economy generally. The outcome of that is that people have to shift their spending from discretionary things like artwork, like photography, like buying cameras, like going on workshops, traveling to do photography, all that sort of stuff, to be able to afford the essentials like food and energy and all the things you need to do to live your life. I know from having a family of 4 children that eat like adults now, it's blooming expensive in the supermarket. Our food bill is basically just going up and to the right. It's scary. And I think that's an undeniable truth, that economic value drives incentives for people to actually do something. It may make you feel uncomfortable, I don't know, but that's just the way it is. However, what maybe some people are missing out on is that there is then a personal incentive, a personal value that we get from doing landscape photography. It's like a desire, and it drives us to be out here with the sun on our faces, just sitting, having a little rest, waiting for sunset in this just stunning landscape, looking at all this heather across this moor. And I don't really understand why more people don't do it. What's not to like about sitting here and just enjoying the moment, waiting for the light so I can capture its beauty and share its story with the world? That's, for me, what landscape photography is all about. It's about telling a story. It's about sharing something, my own personal experience of it and my vision of it. It's inspiring. It's inspiring in all different conditions. It's not just about sunset. It's full of meaning. And in a world where our reality often gets warped by content and noise and media and politicians and politics and nonsense like that, coming out here and sitting like this, connecting with nature, doing something creative, grounds us. It grounds me and connects me to reality. It reminds me, it gives me a perspective of what's important. And then I go away from this, back to my normal life, refreshed, clear-headed, mindful of what matters and what doesn't, so I can put my energy into those things, like family, like being creative, like enjoying life. That's all right to do that, you know. Right, we're into the golden hour now, and as per usual, I'm feeling a little bit rushed because there's 2 golden hour photographs I want to take. One of this scene in front of me, and then one of that tree just there. And in both scenes, the heather is looking spectacular. But what I'm seeing in front of me here, I think it could be good, but there's some challenges, and that's particularly that I'm shooting directly into the sun. But the sun is hiding behind some of the leaves, so it's kind of working, but it's leaving some of the heather in the foreground, a little bit in shadow, but then there's some lovely streaks of light coming from behind the shadow of the tree into the heather, which just looks great, and the sun is coming in and out from behind the cloud and lighting it up in so many different ways. I'm just going to shoot that off now. The other challenge I've got is it's windy. I think actually what I need to do, I need to up the ISO to 400, bring my shutter speed back again. I've got a lovely bit of focus there. Yeah, that's working really well. So very simple, heather in the foreground, tree, and then sky with the sun hiding behind the leaves. So we've got quite a lot of colour, lovely yellow colour in the clouds behind. And then I've got some of the trees to the right in it and some of into the left. And I'm keeping out, I always forget what they're called. That thing there, what are they called? I always forget. They are an invasive species, I believe. So I don't want it in my photograph of these trees in this natural landscape with the heather in the foreground. Oh, the light's just looking beautiful now. Fire it off again. It's hiding behind the tree, so I'm not getting any flare. Oh, that backlight is just beautiful. There's some moisture in the air behind the tree as well. That's really adding atmosphere. But then I've got nice sharp details of the tree and the heather in the foreground. Just fantastic. I'm going to do one more for luck. And then I need to pack up and get up to the tree up there for sunset. I've probably only got about 10 minutes left, I think. The clouds are just getting better and better, more and more colour. I'm tempted to wait a bit longer, get the best shot here and then run up there for the end. I love the excitement, down to the wire. Been here all afternoon, spent about 6 hours here scouting around, learning things about this landscape. And then it all bursts into action in the last minute. I love it. I love it. I don't understand why more people don't love it. That's kind of the point of this video. Right, I've now made it into position for my final shot of the day with a beautiful bit of light, a gorgeous amount of heather and some delightful colour all around me. And the tree here is what I'm going to be photographing with all this heather right in front of it at a really wide angle actually. I think I'm fully wide actually. Yeah, I am at 16 millimeters. Yeah, and I'm just really happy with it. I'm at f11, 1/40th of a second and ISO 400 because there's still a fair bit of wind. The only thing is that I'm waiting for the light again. If you can see behind me there is a very thin band of cloud and the sun is coming down obviously and has just gone behind that. But then below it is another slightly more clear band. So I'm hopeful that not more cloud comes in and I get a little bit of light just before the sun dips behind the hill behind me and it lights up this scene here, that lovely warm light on that white bark of the silver birch tree right here in front of me with some slightly autumnal leaves on there, even in August, and then surrounded in this heather. And when the light hits that, it's just going to burst into life and just look spectacular. That's the hope. That's the plan. So we'll give it a few more minutes and then we'll come back. Right, it's here. This is the moment. This is the moment I've been waiting for all day. I'm excited and I'm ready to capture the shot. Just get this camera out of the way. It's not quite as bright as I would like, although it's getting brighter all the time. You might be able to see it on my face. Oh, yes. That tree is now lighting up. There's golden light on the bark. Oh, let's have another look at that sunlight. I'm just going to keep firing away. I could do with the wind just dying down a tiny touch as well. This is what it's all about, isn't it? Oh, yes, it's coming through fully onto the heather as well. Nice bits of shadow, nice bits of golden light up onto the bark, up onto that tree, and all the yellowy autumnal colours are coming out of it as well. Fire off again and fire off again. Ah, man, so exciting. Yes, yes, yes. To me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that interest generally in landscape photography is waning, because my interest certainly is not. I've struggled recently. I have struggled recently, as I've been talking about, but my interest is back with a bang. In moments when people lose interest or you feel alone, you feel like that madman on an island shouting about landscape photography to a sea of people who are not listening. It feels weird. But those people so often get rewarded when things change, when the economy changes, when the market shifts and people realise how important reality is and how being connected to nature is important. I almost guarantee you that a love of landscape photography will come back. It's meaningful and it's special, and us weirdos that are doing it now in the future will be thought of as something different, something more, just something more. I'm just going to keep firing away because it looks absolutely perfect. Now there is someone about to walk into the shot. How selfish is that? She disappeared behind the hill. Oh, this is so delicate, this light now. It's just beautiful. I'll show you that image in a minute, which I think is just going to get better and better as time goes on. Colour in the sky, it looks amazing. But what are we going to do? Are we going to give up landscape photography? I mean, no, of course not. We can whinge and complain, or we can go all in, ride or die.